eager learners. Welcome back to another enthralling session of Global English Competitiveness video series. Today, we're venturing into the culminating chapter of this unit, 13D, Accessing the Internet. Ready your writing tools as we set forth on a journey to the digital world. To recap, we have four can-do objectives in this unit. First, to discuss the rise of digital citizenship. Second, to discuss the technological development. Third, to discuss new approaches to internet security. And fourth, to identify and synthesize news event details. As you can remember, we have already covered our first three can-do objectives. You've already discussed the rise of digital citizenship. You've also discussed the technological development. In the previous lesson, you've already discussed new approaches to internet security. This time, let's move on to our last can-do objective for this unit, to identify and synthesize news event details. Without further ado, let's move over to Lesson 13D, Accessing the Internet. And here are the different sub-lessons that will help us achieve our objective. Viewing, vocabulary, writing, grammar, and speaking. Let's begin the lesson by watching the video on how to talk about charts and graphs in English by Skyrocket English. Then answer the questions that follow. Let's put your vocabulary to a test. Match the vocabulary words with their definitions. For example, in number 1, a graph that uses dots to represent data points is called a scatter graph. Thus, we write letter C. Now pause the video and answer the rest of the items. Here are the correct answers. This time, look at the bar graph on the devices used to access the internet among users in the Philippines in the third quarter of 2022. What does the information show? Using the same graph, complete the following sentences. For example, in number 1, the data shows that mobile phone is the top device used by Filipinos in accessing the internet. You may pause the video to answer the rest of the items. Now that you already know how to interpret the information in the bar chart, write an article about the bar chart and the devices used by Filipinos to access the internet. The article should be at least 3 paragraphs with a minimum of 5 sentences per paragraph. In your article, you may use your answers in Exercise E under 12D. Moving on to our grammar focus, let's talk about comparative degree and superlative degree. Comparative degree is used to compare two people, things, or qualities. For example, in recent years, smartphones have become more popular than traditional mobile phones. Here, we're comparing smartphones and traditional mobile phones. Thus, we use more popular. In order to form comparatives, we add ER to short adjectives or use the word more before long adjectives. Now, superlative degree, on the other hand, is used to compare 3 or more people, things, or qualities. For example, among all emerging technologies, artificial intelligence is the most transformative. Here we are comparing all emerging technologies, that is more than three, right? So we use most. In order to create the superlative degree, we add est to short adjectives or use the word most before long adjectives. This time, let's put your knowledge on comparative degree and superlative degree of adjectives and adverbs to a test. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the adjective or adverb in parentheses. For example, in number 1, in terms of processing power, the new computer is faster than its predecessor. Faster because we are only comparing new computer and its predecessor. Now pause the video and answer the rest of the items. Here are the correct answers. Continue answering items 6 to 10. Now here are the answers. And we're down to our last activity for this lesson and this unit. You're going to work in pairs. Reevaluate the given bar chart on the devices used to access the internet among users in the Philippines in the third quarter of 2022. Describe the graph to your partner using comparatives and superlatives. Take turns in describing the chart and rate each other's answers. Use the guide on your screen. And with that, we have covered our final objective for Unit 13, which is to identify and synthesize news event details. In this lesson, we watched a video on how to talk about charts and graphs in English. We also tested your vocabulary on graph-related terms. You wrote descriptions of information presented in a graph and wrote an article about it as well. You discussed about comparative and superlative degree of comparison. And you evaluated the given bar chart and described it using comparatives and superlatives. That concludes Unit 13D. Your participation have made this lesson memorable. Thank you for joining us in Unit 13, Future-Proofing Innovations. As you continue to navigate the dynamic landscape of technology and digital innovation, may you do so with confidence and resilience. Remember, the key to future-proofing lies in adaptability, continuous learning, and responsible digital citizenship. We eagerly await your participation in our upcoming sessions as we continue to explore the forefront of English competitiveness.